ladies and gentlemen, we have a reaction video planned for each and every one of the grubs in attendance tonight. We're going to hop into this shout out the gamer update. We found a video that is worthy of a reaction. We're going to hop into this because a Fortnite streamer thinks that streaming is harder than a real job. Let's hop in. Let's get the reaction going.
Oh shoot, what's up peeps? Welcome back to the channel. I have a video today that I think you guys are gonna have some comments on, and some of you maybe want to really type something up for this one. It's an argument that is never going to be won by a streamer, something we have talked about a lot in the past, but this time a fairly large Fortnite streamer known as Lacey. Last time I covered this guy, he had shaved his eyebrows on stream for a donation, and then the donator actually refunded the money, and then we shared it on social media, and the community responded amazingly and made up for the lack of donation. I believe that was also during a subathon of his. So good job, Lacey. Glad those eyebrows are finally growing back. In a recent stream, he took to share his thoughts on the mental effects and the thoughts on mental health effects that streamers go through, and how he thinks being a streamer is harder than a 9-to-5 job. The age-old debate. This is going to be a good one. Here's the clip.
9 to 5. Oh, yeah. 9 to 5s are easier than being a streamer. 9 to 5 is easier than being a streamer. You guys can put dots all you want, bro. I literally have done both. I can tell you that doing a 9 to 5 is easier than being a streamer. Simple. I've done both. Have you ever done a real job? Yes, I worked at Panera. I worked 2 jobs. I worked at Panera and Walmart for 2 years. And I can say that being a streamer is harder than working at 9 to 5. Obviously, the pay's way better. Obviously, I get paid more being a streamer. But when I'm talking about just straight up mental toll, being a streamer is way harder, bro. You are your own boss. It doesn't matter, bro. You guys understand, other jobs, bro, like an actual 9 to 5, you don't have to be at your peak performance, bro. A 9 to 5, you can literally fucking show up, fucking the bare minimum just being there, fucking mope around all day, be an asshole, and still get paid, bro. Being a streamer, if I showed up to a stream moping around, fucking barely talking, no one would watch. It would be boring, bro. You can't do that. Being a streamer, you have to be at your top attitude, top mood, top entertainment for 8 hours straight.
And I will tell you what, I'll tell you right now, there's no winning here, okay? You can share your thoughts down below. I love reading comments on these kind of videos because everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has worked different jobs. Everyone has different thoughts on streamers. Everyone has different thoughts on different jobs. It's an age-old debate that, again, will never be won by a streamer, because at the end of the day, outside looking in, you get to sit in your room, in your house, making what a lot of people think is going to be millions, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you get to sit there, play video games, or entertain an audience from the comfort of your own home. It's a very trying debate to convince people otherwise that it actually can be quite difficult. Despite that, though, I do have sympathy for top streamers. Even though a lot of them are doing very well, there's a lot of middle tier streamers who are not making outlandish money, but they're putting outlandish hours into their craft to try and make ends meet. And those are the people that I agree. It's a very trying and testing job, and the mental health things you have to go through are very apparent. But also at the end of the day, you got to realize the flip side. There are people out there equally struggling that have to leave their homes, go work manual labor, maybe work 2 jobs, and you will never convince them that your life is harder than theirs, because to be fair, it just might not be, you know? And again, this is always going to be a subjective debate, because there are some people who work a 9 to 5, they coast by, they make good money, and it's really easy. There are some streamers who stream, they coast by, they make a lot of money, and it's really easy. And there are some people who work very hard jobs, very long hours, don't make good money, and the same could be said for streamers. It almost feels like a useless debate, because you're not going to convince anyone set in stone to change to the other side, you know? And I know how the YouTube audience works. I know what a lot of you guys are going to say, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that both sides should have a bit more sympathy for the others and maybe realize where they're coming from, right? Like, there's a lot of people out there working harder jobs than all of us either watching or leaving comments right now. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Like, I would say, like, my job is stressful, my job is difficult, but I'm also extremely lucky and fortunate to be here. So I would never start the debate that being a gaming news reporter is harder than a 9-to-5. I would never try and make that debate, okay? I don't ever want to be in those shoes, and I don't think it, like, how could I possibly make that debate, you know? So what do you guys think? Until next time, have fun with this one. Leave a nice comment, leave a mean comment. It's all good, but it's good discussion. What do you guys think about streamers thinking that working a 9-to-5 is easier than being a streamer, mentally speaking? Till next time, take care. We'll see you guys back here soon.
Lacey is wrong for a multitude of reasons. I know that Gamer Update is saying that it's subjective. There is a part of this that is objective. And objective is like, regardless of your personal experience, this is the fact. Having a real job, a real 9-to-5 job, is way harder than streaming for one reason. There are some jobs in this world that you can't get unless you study for it. Prime example, you think that you can be a doctor just because you want to be a doctor? No, you have to go to school, 4 years at a bachelor's, then you have to do a 2-year residency, and then you have to train. You think that you can be a pilot overnight just because you decided to be a pilot? No, being a streamer, period. You have 13-year-old kids that can buy all of the streaming equipment, play whatever game that you want, and bam, you can call yourself a streamer. And with enough followers and enough attention, you can, claim yourself as a streamer, minus the fact that it is more difficult to get coin being a streamer, because there aren't a lot of streamers out there that even have the privilege of saying that they're full-time streamers. Like, do you know how hard it is to become a Twitch partner? That's not easy. And for someone like Lacey to say, oh, being a streamer is harder, first of all, you fail to realize the privilege that you even have. There aren't that many streamers on Lacey's level that can even get YouTubers to react to things that he would say in the first place. You have to be at a certain echelon of streamer to even get a reaction from the YouTube community. That's number one. Number two, how many top streamers can you name off the top of your head? The problem with Lacey is this: you can't compare being a streamer to a real job. There are people out there that hate their job, and they wish that they could be doing something else. You have no idea how much time, like, in the real world, that it takes to get good at a job. Now, I get what Lacey's saying. There are people out there in the world that can show up to a job, they can clock in, and they're usually guaranteed a paycheck. Okay, that I understand. I understand that in order for you to kind of really be entertaining in the streaming face, you have to be at the top of your game. Your personality has to be flushed out. Your skill has to be flushed out. And on top of that, the game that you're playing has to have some sort of attention. Like, it has to be something that people want to see. And I do understand that you have to have a certain level of skill at that game. Some people just get lucky because the game that they're playing is so popular that it pops, and it brings people to the channel regardless of how good the person may actually be in the game. In real life, it doesn't work like that. You can be great at a job, but there are some jobs that you're literally locked out of because you don't have the credentials to work in that space. Prime example, you can't be a therapist or a counselor because you are phenomenal with talking to people. You need to have a state licensure to hold that caliber of job. You don't need that when it comes down to streaming. So to compare, it's mentally taxing, bro. Like, people have to spend 4+ years to get a degree, to even be able to qualify and possibly get a job interview for their dream job, or a job that they can say will bring in enough money for them to live off of. Like I said, you have people going to work every day to a job that they absolutely hate, but they're stuck there and they have no choice but to work that job. Now, I get it. Once again, from a mental standpoint, I can see where Lacey is coming from, but it's just not true. There's no way that any job that you can do in your pajamas will ever be harder than a real job. And now I understand that, you know, Lacey is probably set in his ways. Listen, if you get lucky enough to be a full-time streamer, bro, consider yourself lucky. But that is no way harder than a real job, because you have people out there literally sacrificing their lives to bring home a paycheck. The only thing that you're sacrificing when you turn on a camera is bad posture. You know, when you're streaming a video game. Like, streaming is easy. I can turn the camera on, put in a video game that I like, and guess what? I can always change the game. I can, oh, if I'm not really feeling this game, I can change it midstream and play something else that's actually more entertaining. You have people that go to work, you think when they clock in, they can just switch their job overnight? Nah, like, that takes time, effort, and planning. The first mistake is comparing streaming to a real job. That's the first mistake. Like, you just shouldn't compare those two, because they aren't even in the same bracket. Like, they're not in the same echelon of jobs, you know? Like, you know, it's a privilege being able to, you know, sit down and play a game for 8 hours and bring in coin through donations and subs. When you go out there in the real world, you have to deal with people you don't like. You have to deal with a boss that can yell at you for whatever reason they find valid at the time. You can potentially get fired at the drop of a dime, and you're somewhat expendable. Not everyone that works a 9 to 5 likes their job. Not to mention, any job where you're getting paid a lot of money, it requires so much experience, and on average, it requires a certain level of schooling. You just can't get the job of your dreams just because you feel you want it, or you feel as though you deserve it. But you can always turn the camera off and go take a nap and go do something else. Like, a job, you can't just decide that you're just gonna walk off because, oh, this is mentally taxing. No, like, when you go to work, you not only have to deal with yourself, you have to deal with real people around you. When you're streaming, you're in the comfort of your home, and you just have to deal with your viewers and people in the game that maybe you feel are cheating from time to time. But you cannot compare any virtual type of experience to what people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like, the problem is people are constantly trying to compare two different things as if they're on the same level when they're not. Like, they're just not. Like, it's not more mentally taxing to be a streamer versus being a real job. Like I said, you have people out there working jobs right now. Like, they wake up in the morning and they're pissed. You wake up in the morning and you can get ready. You can postpone your stream. And even though that would kind of be like late, there's no real penalty. But a real job, it is so much harder to wake up in the morning and go to a job that you absolutely despise. So with it being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys really appreciated this video. Shout out the Gamer Update, because I haven't found a video that I could sit down and react to and really enjoy the reaction. I really think this video was top notch. Shout out to Gamer Update. Shout out to Lacey for his opinion. It is what it is, but we all know the facts. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. Make sure you get something to eat, wash up, and go to sleep.